Hi, I am Mia Lamont, your host for the Brand Disruptors podcast. I've been a disruptor all my life, and I'm here to help other women step into their own greatness so that they can get paid to be themselves. I decided to start this podcast because I wanted to show other women how I and women like me took their life's disruptions and changed their lives and the lives of others, not to mention broke the mold in their industries. Look, branding is all about who you are at your core, the person that your soul is calling you to be. So get ready to step into your power, own your authenticity, and show up like the boss that you are. If you enjoy all aspects of personal development, you are in the right place. Let's get started. All right, so I'm going to be bringing up my next guest in a couple minutes, Alana Gilbert, aka Miss Candles of Mind, Body, and Sense. She is a mother. She is a business owner, and she's an overall badass. So I'm glad to have her on today and let you guys meet her as well. So welcome, Alana. How are you today?
I am well. Good morning. Hey, Mia.
Good morning. Good morning. Tell me about those earrings you got on, girl.
Oh, I just stay branded. I mean, that's just what we do around here. So these earrings are mind, body, and sense, and they're part of my brand colors as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about why you decided to do why candles.
Why candles, right? It was so random. I was getting over a breakup. I needed to refocus my energy, and I always make like arts and craft little things for my team. I'm a manager for the company I work with full time, and I was like, "Yo, candles! Let's try something different."
Uh-huh.
And literally, it was just a thought that just manifested into like a growing business.
A thought that manifested into a growing business out of a disruption.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, out of
Mhm.
heartbreak. Out of heartbreak. So tell us a little bit about the process. So when you decided, okay, it's going to be candles, did you like start making them right away? Like how did that even start? Like you had the idea, but then what?
So I had I had the idea. I talked to my homeboy at work about it. He was like, "You should sell them." I said, "This is before I did anything. I was just telling him what I was going to do for my team." He was like, "You should sell the candles." I said, "Sell candles?" I said, "Okay." Literally went to Hobby Lobby, bought a whole bunch of different items, and made some candles. Took them to work. Everybody loved them. That's exactly how my business started. Like I just dove head first, and I was just getting the oil change. You like candles? I'm at the gas station pumping gas. You like candles? It didn't matter where I was. I'm asking everybody if they like candles, and I started off. Initially, they were only $8, so I was
Mhm.
doing pre-orders. No one gave me any money, but I just like taking all these orders, writing everything down manually. And when I began actually making them, like mass producing,
Uh-huh.
they didn't have a smell at all. Like zero. It was horrible. And I cried. And I literally just sat there and was like, okay, so what we gonna do? You talk to this person, this person. I'm going through my bug, people at work, everywhere, like, you gotta produce candles.
Right.
So I literally decided at that moment if I was going to move forward or just like give up. And I decided to move forward. So I did my research, let everybody know it was going to be a delay. I'm very transparent, right? That's one of the best things about my business. I'm very transparent. So I let everyone know what was going on, and I just got to work. I just began testing again, and I've just been growing and just, making changes and adjustments ever since.
So how long ago was that?
Over 3 years ago.
So it took you, would you say it took you this long to really feel good about the product, feel good about putting yourself out there? Like, how long would it typically take someone to start to finish from ideation, right? Because you talked about having
Mm-hmm.
an idea so you can keep your mind right, while you went through this breakup.
Correct.
But then you actually have a legitimate business and you do this very well. So talk to me about like what was the thought process for you when you first started and how is it very different from what it is today?
The thought process from when I first started, the most thing that changed was my insecurity. When I
Mm,
first started, I couldn't follow or watch other candle makers. It didn't matter if they were a big brand, a small brand. I was just very insecure, and whatever I was doing, I felt inadequate compared to someone else. You know, even if I sold 10 candles one day and somebody sold one, or let's say 11, I was like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Right? I was extremely insecure. And I'm at a place now where I talk about it all the time, the bread out. Do you, and I'm a cheer for you, you know, but at the same time, this is what I'm doing over here and this is good as well. So it's no more comparison, and the insecurity is dissipated. I'm just really thankful for that.
Don't you feel like it's super important? Like I've noticed this too. Like when you are so busy looking at what other people are doing, it's really hard for you to be creative. It's hard for you to show up as yourself because you're trying to be other versions of
Yes.
them instead of you.
That was the biggest thing. And this one particular big box brand I was following heavy, well, very comparison, right? And I was trying to pretty much mimic what they were doing. And I spent
Mm,
so much money. And
mm.
when I finally got to a place like, yo, I make candles. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I make candles, and this is what I'm proficient at, and this is what I'm going to just invest my time and energy in. Literally, it's been like it's grown since once I stopped trying to be like somebody else.
Ooh, that's big. That's
Yes, it
huge.
was.
Like who else in the audience who's paying attention, right? Who else can relate to comparing yourself to other people who are doing the same thing in your industry? And does it help or does it hurt you? Because I found that it hurt me too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can go and look at other people's stuff and get inspired, or I can take it in and be like, well, dang, I'm not there, so I'm just not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's fast forward. Now you got your candles, you have your processes down, you got everything going. You like, okay, I am Miss Candles. I'm embodying Miss Candles. How do you get to a point, or how was it for you to finally say, okay, I'm just gonna make candles. I'm just gonna be me. What switches did you have to make in order for that to happen?
When I looked at how much money, time, and energy was spent trying to do something else, I mean, literally, oh my God, I can't even describe it. It was just, it was wasted effort. I mean, that's when the switch happens. Like, yo, like focus, like look at your own grass, water over here. It doesn't matter what
Ooh,
you're doing, you know,
yes.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
simple, but that's literally what it was.
So watering your own grass looks like what?
Doing more research, challenging myself in my own lane, right?
Mm,
So I am Miss Candles. That is a name that was given to me by one of my good friends. And with that, I do challenge myself. So although I just make not just make candles, although I am a candle maker,
yes,
I
ma'am.
did challenge myself to start another candle process. Meaning I was doing 100% soy, which is, you know, earth sustainable. It's like all the things, right? Eco-friendly. But I said, let's see how we can elevate our brand some. And I want to use the word elevate lightly because soy is still 100% like all natural. It's like great. But I wanted to go for a more luxurious candle experience. So I've started to incorporate coconut soy wax into my brand.
Mhm.
Extremely way more expensive. It's a whole different process and all the things, but from a process of making it is much easier, and it cuts down my cure time. It was just the best move I could have made for me to challenge myself.
Yeah, and that's the point I want the audience to get, right? You decided I'm going to stop doing this comparison and I'm going to get in my own lane and start to do some research.
Mm-hmm.
Once you started doing this research, you found that there was another way to elevate and have your candles be more luxurious. But and you could have said to yourself, oh, you know what? That's going to be way more expensive. That's going to take me more time. It's going to be this. What made you like, what was your thought process? Talk to me about that. Like, what is your thought process when it comes to making those kinds of business decisions and making sure that they're still aligned with Ms. Candle's brand and Elena as a person?
So, in all honesty, what really happened, I went to another candle maker's business, and I
Mhm.
did their candle making process, like they're one of their workshops. And it really just opened up my eyes to it's more out here than just what you're used to. And I honestly enjoyed her candle, the candle that I made with her products. And that's what made me research a little bit more because I was like, I was familiar with coconut soy because I'm in a candle making groups, which
Mhm.
is very which I'm more mature, so I can be there and give insight and wisdom as well as take insight and wisdom from them as well. So I've been exposed to it, but at the same time, to actually experience it, I was like, okay, I like this a little bit more, and it cut down my processing time like in half. So it's more money, but at the same time, just if it took me 40 minutes to make 4 candles, it takes me 3. No brainer.
Right, because time is money.
Time is money.
Time is money. So you have cut down your process by what? Almost 70, 80, 90. I don't even know. I don't know math. So 90%?
Yeah, pretty much. It was ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. But you were also open. So here's what I heard. You were also open to learning from someone else in the business. So you stopped the comparison. You were like, let me go see what this girl over here knows so I can go in and be more productive, number one.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I heard was that you decided to be a part of a group and give your expertise when you could.
Yes, so most definitely.
Tell me a little about a lot about the switch in that, because we can get into these groups and hide out and not contribute, or contribute in a way that turns people off. But now it sounds like you've really come into your own and you're like, you know what, I can make a contribution here. I know enough about this to say something, and I'm not afraid to learn from people who are doing it better than me.
Yeah, most definitely. And Mia, that's something that we talked about in our branding courses together, because I would never would have thought about it like being around other candle makers, but I had to get to a place of maturity, and having self-assurance, and now being there, it's the best move I could have made for my business. And of course you do hide sometimes. Every time somebody posts, I don't have to say something, right? But when I do find that I can give legitimate direction, I do. And sometimes, again, with me going into the coconut soy, I had to ask them questions and listening to their feedback, because I was like, well, will my same candle scents work for this, and yada, yada, yada. And it was great. Just being in a group with like-minded people, just like being in a coaching program with like-minded individuals, you're going to grow and expand because you're guilty by association, right? So you're going to grow and expand as well. Like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So you got to be around the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to allow yourself to not have all the answers, right? Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of us feel like we can't get into these groups or we can't do this stuff because we don't know what we're doing. Well, how the hell do you think you're going to find out?
Right. You got to be amongst the winners, and you also got to be at a place where you can sift it out, right? Just because someone is doing this doesn't mean I need to do it. From that candle making experience that I did go to, I don't do everything that she did. We don't even use the same necessarily products, but at the same time, it was still an eye opener for me to like, you know what, let's challenge ourselves. Like, I felt like I had soy down. It was doing well, but again, I feel like let's elevate it. Let's do something a little bit different. So I'm really excited to transition my company from soy and coconut soy to 100% coconut soy by the end of the year.
Awesome. So we'll be looking forward to seeing those changes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said a couple things in there. One of the things that you said was about like taking what they were doing, but then running it through your own filter, right? We talk about this all the time because I'll say some things to y'all and y'all are like, no, no.
But we have to digest it, right? We still need to hear it. And then again, we run it through our own filter, like you just said, and it's like, okay, we can like make it work.
Yeah. But you're making it work for you, and that's how you make things your own. And I think a lot of us believe that if somebody's teaching us something, we got to take the whole teaching that they give us and take it all in, but we can't make any twist to it. We can't think for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I want you to talk about how you were able to go to these classes, right? Or talk to these peers and be among peers and still know Alana was going to be solid.
So that came from getting over my own stuff, right? Like getting past me. I couldn't have did this when I first started 2018. I wasn't there. I wasn't mature enough. But being where I am now is now 22. But even back in 2021, 2020, I was still growing into the best version of me. Mm-hmm. So it all starts with just being, I always say self-assured. Having the confidence. So that's what allowed me to be among peers and everyone else and not have to just follow someone else's playbook to say, that sounds great. That's not for me, but I think I could tweak that and make it work. Like, thank you, but I'm not going to take all of that, right?
Yeah, right. You go to the buffet and you take what you like,
Mm-hmm.
you take what you feel like is beneficial for you, and then you go and create whatever it is that you want to create.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. And you do that in your life, right? So you said self-assured,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I feel like there's also another level of self-awareness that
Yes, yes.
self-assuredness. So what kind of work did you do to get to that? Like not only just like personally, but professionally, because you have to like they happen simultaneously, right? Yeah.
I'm in therapy. Let me tell you something. Listen, I need a shirt. I'm gonna get a shirt made. Listen, I'm in therapy. Do you understand? I pay someone to listen to me, okay, to get my stuff out because because of dealing with a professional on that level, it allows me to get the crazy out. I'm just being very transparent. And
Yes.
because of that, I'm not sitting with it
Oh,
and manifesting and thinking about it and all the weird stuff. So I'm getting it out in a much healthy way. And she's giving me positive feedback from business, personal, relationship, from motherhood, like all the things, right? And the biggest work that we do is boundaries. So and that's so important for me because it's easy. I got to a place a couple years ago. I said, I'm going to make sure I show up for my friends. I'm going to be there. They have an event, they have something going on, I'm going to be there. I'm at a place now, I don't have to be at everything to still be a friend. I can support you, cheer you on, share your posts, all the things from the sideline. But if it's not going to be beneficial to my personal health, if it's wearing me thin, because I still have my own things going on, I'm going to be on the sideline still cheering for you, but I don't necessarily have to be there. So that's where boundaries come in.
yeah.
Where I'm learning how to say no and no is no, and that's okay.
And no is a complete sentence.
No is a complete sentence.
So you don't have to explain to your friends or your family or your clients that why you're saying no. You can just say no, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned a therapist. So you have help.
I do.
And most entrepreneurs think that they have to do this on their own. And while you were working with a therapist, we were working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had someone doing some administrative work for you.
I did at one point. I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we all get to form a team as we grow. And tell me about how the team helped you to get to where you are today.
So the team aspect will allow you to focus on the main thing and keep it the main thing while you're delegating and giving this to this person, this to that person. But having a team comes with trust. And
Yes.
you actually have to know yourself and understand. And we talked about this. They're not going to do it the exact way. It's not going to be perfect, but it's still getting done. And that's okay. Sometimes we just need it done, not perfect. And when you get to that place, that's a whole nother level of just boss, which I'm going to be honest. I scaled back in that regard just for a small bit because I'm just getting my SOPs together and different things. Mm-hmm. But I'm going back to that area of just delegating and letting it's done, not perfect.
Well, and perfection is based on what?
Our ideology is a lie. In reality, it's not real.
Absolutely. I have a cousin who runs a pretty successful business, and she also believes that she and her right-hand person, they're the only ones that can do everything right. And I'm like, this is why you're exhausted. This is why you have other things going on. So for me, it's like, let's get to what your zone of genius is. And for you, it is making the actual candle, right? Mm-hmm. You're a great businesswoman, but I believe that that's what you love to do. This is why you started the business, so you can have a creative outlet. And for you to be doing all the other stuff is actually doing yourself and your clients, the people who buy from you, a disservice, right?
It is. And again, that's something that we're working towards, this year to relieve some of these hats that I wear, because I really do want to focus on being the brand, right? Mm-hmm. The woman of the business. Mm-hmm. But it comes with time.
Yeah,
it does. But I'm really excited about where we're going with Mind, Body, and Sense this year.
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys are on track for some amazing things.
We are. And we, as in me, but yeah, I like to say we.
Yes, we. You will have other people on by the end of the year, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go back to boundaries, because you talked about boundaries with other people, but as you've learned this thing about boundaries, what about the boundaries that you've had to set with yourself?
The boundaries that I set with myself consist of keeping those boundaries. I'll give you a case in point. So yesterday, one of my girlfriends, and she's a really good girlfriend, she wanted to come over specifically, and she's been over before, been to each other's houses, all the things, but specifically to smell some candles.
Okay.
And I sat here and wrestled with it the whole day because my sister, I have 4 sisters, so no one knows which one it is but her. But she came over one time for a particular reason to smell candles. And it was a really bad experience because I wasn't professional. I was home. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of took them, made them feel some type of way. And I told myself this won't happen again. When I'm home, I want to be home. I already work from home. I don't need to do business per se in the house.
Yeah.
So with my girlfriend, she hit me up. She said, yeah, I could be there about 5:30. And I said, you know what? No, let me come to you.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. And I went to her, I told her, she was like, girl, it's fine. She totally understood. But I just wanted to let her know, like, you're always welcome, because she's been over before several times. Yes. But I have to separate. And I'm so proud of me for doing that, because it was that small part. It was like, I don't want to offend anyone else. But what about offending me? What about not holding my truths, my values? So, and I can't wait to tell my therapist. She's going to be so proud of me. But going back, that's how I hold my boundaries to myself. The things that makes me uneasy and that gives me anxiety, recognizing it and not taking the same steps again. So that's me holding true to myself, and I'm really proud of myself for that again.
It is, right? That's that self-trust factor. Like, we grow up not trusting ourselves because our parents tell us what to do, then we listen to teachers, and then we listen to the boss or whomever. We forget about that we know what's best for us. And when you have those uneasy feelings like you're talking about here, you trusted yourself enough to say, you know what, let me follow this. And then you took the step further to say, you know what, I'm going to come to you.
Yes.
Instead of people pleasing, which, some of us are guilty of. I know I've been guilty of it, but instead of people pleasing, you were like, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for me. And if this still doesn't align with what she wants, then we might have to just scrap the whole thing, or we'll just come up and think of something else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was okay with that. Again, but I figured she would be fine me coming to her house, which she totally was. But at the same time, again, people pleasing. And I just knew I just didn't like the experience that I had previously. And I told that person, I said, I'm not doing business in my house again. I said, this won't happen. And I didn't. And I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, because our home is our sanctuary. And like you said, because you built your business out of your home, because your home is where you have your peace and your family, like, why would you want to keep like recycling everything into that environment?
Correct.
Yeah. So tell me how you feel like you're disrupting the candle industry.
Oh, how am I disrupting the candle industry? I would say I am not shy of or scared of rebranding. Like, I would try something new.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, I'm just going to keep, throwing darts at the wall to some stick, right? And and it's a couple other things I've been working on in the background with the affiliate program. Even thought about making it an MLM coming, moving forward. It's a lot of different things we're working on over here.
Yeah, I love it. So if you had to give like one piece of advice to entrepreneurs, to someone who wants to create a brand, what would you say?
Just jump. Literally, because so many of us will just sit there and research so long that we just get stuck in our head. And although jumping, you're going to waste money, you're going to waste time, but at least you started, right? Sometimes with you jumping and even making mistakes, at least you made a move, right? Because I made those candles and they didn't have a cent in the beginning, but because I had that accountability to all those new customers and clients that I obtained, I had to keep moving forward. Like, I had to do something, versus if I was in my head for a whole month and then I made those candles and then I'm gonna start selling them, I would have quit.
So your jump was actually going out in the world and saying, "Hey, I sell candles. You like candles? What did it?" Because I heard you talk about that initially. You were like, and this is what I think a lot of people don't do, right? They don't tell people what they're up to. And you were out in the literal streets saying, "Do you like candles? I'm making candles," and that's how you got your first set of orders. So the lesson for me in that is like, you gotta tell people what you're doing, even if it is as simple as when I go fill up my tank at the gas station, I'm gonna tell the attendant. I'm gonna ask the attendant if they like candles, and can I put some in here? Is that okay?
Yeah, I was definitely everywhere in the beginning of my business. I don't want to say conservative, but I'm branded like all the time. If I don't have my earrings, most likely I have on like a t-shirt, or if
the nails.
The nails.
The nails.
I always have my brand colors on my nails, and it's a conversation starter. And the other thing that helped transform my business the most was still going to events, but just attending. When I stopped vending and just always selling and actually started having conversations, that was a game changer.
Are y'all listening? This is huge what she just talked about. She's talking about networking.
Yes.
And not necessarily, because you can't network a lot when you're behind the table trying to sell stuff.
You
but
can't.
When you're in the audience, you get to make connections and you get to talk to people and people get to know who you are.
It's more relationship based.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. But, and are you doing more speaking too?
I'm tiptoeing into it just a little bit. It's definitely, I'm really shy about it, honestly, but it's something that I really want to do because it's so much to my story that I want to get out there and to help and inspire young women, honestly.
Yeah. So we're going to see you on the speaking circuit soon.
You will.
I'm going to call you and be like, where are you speaking this week?
I know.
Anything else you want the audience to know before we wrap up?
Yeah, definitely. Mia, thank you so much for this opportunity. Working with you has been a pleasure in our continued relationship. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to hear from the other women, other girlfriends. Yeah. And can I talk about the coupon we have?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so definitely for each and every person that's tuned in today, we have a special coupon. If you know me, I don't do a lot of coupons. That ain't really what I do. But for the viewers here, Disruptors Day, you can save 15% if you go to mindbodyandsense.com.
Yes.
Disruptors Day. And we just started offering free shipping over on orders $100 or more as well. So check us out.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So that's going to be part of what we email out to you guys, the people who are attending. You'll get an email, a follow-up email, and those codes will be in there. How long is that good for?
Just a Sunday evening.
Okay. So y'all get on it.
Yes.
On it and get your candles. I know somebody who's coming on later on today. She said that she had to re-up on an order with you too. So I don't know if she's done that already or if she's going to take part with that coupon.
Yeah, she did because I changed up my collections. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Again, I'm not scared to rebrand and try new things. So I changed it up and I got rid of some things that I felt was working, but not to where I needed to. But this new mindfulness collection is everything. It did very well in Charlotte.
I love a mindfulness collection, so I'm gonna have to go and find my candles and put them in the bag.
Yes.
And this is the other thing that I want to say. Like Elena's like, I'm not afraid to rebrand. Guys, as long as you're growing as a person, you're going to have a different brand, right? You're going to have to rebrand because as I heard you talk, as you got more confident, the candle formulas changed, right? As you changed, the candle formulas changed, the way you do business changed. So don't be afraid of change because it's inevitable and that means that you're growing. So I love this. Love this for you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate the opportunity and bye. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Brand Disruptors podcast. I'm your host, Mia Lamont. And if you like what you just heard, I hope that you will pass along our web address at www.mialamont.com/podcast to your friends and colleagues. And please leave us a positive review on iTunes. Download this episode and any other episode that you found to be helpful. And be sure to check out our previous episodes and join me next time with another edition of the Brand Disruptors podcast.